the $100,000 to $1 million crypto experiment. I launched this 21 days ago, and guys, this spreadsheet is going insane. But before we get into that, I wanted to explain what's going on. So 20 days ago or 3 weeks ago, I decided to make a diversified strategy to turn 100K into $1 million in the next 12 to 18 months. I'm of the opinion that we're going to see a pretty big bull cycle in crypto, and we're going to see upside across multiple coins and sectors. This is my way. This is an experiment to see what happens. So let's jump into it and see where we're at the moment. So this is a massive spreadsheet, and what I've decided to do, we can zoom in a bit. Again, this is a $100,000 to $1 million diversification experiment. This might make sense to some people. For some other people, it will make zero sense. But this is a small allocation of my overall wealth. So this isn't my only strategy. I thought I'd clarify that before people start to think this is all I'm doing. I thought it'd be a great idea to see what a diversified strategy looks like. So I decided to invest across a bunch of different buckets. So $2,000 buckets, $1,000 buckets, $500, and $250. I decided to invest across a bunch of different categories. So my investments are from meme coins to major projects to metaverse gaming, AI. We got layer ones, layer twos, DeFi. We got all sorts of things going on. And so I'm well diversified across very strong narratives and projects that I know will be around for at least 2 years plus. So not completely new ones that are somewhat established. This is what I've done, and so far I've done $10,000 in profit. And some people are like, Maddie, this is not how you do it. You know, you have to go very strong conviction bets in strong projects. And I agree with you. And that's why I have my other portfolio doing that. This one is really just to see if what does a diversified strategy or portfolio look like? And I do this because I've been here for 7 years, guys. 7 years of crypto has taught me that there's two things you need to really watch out for, right? One thing is single project failure risk. This is crypto, and it's the wild, wild west. No matter how strong or big a project is, it can still get rugged. The narrative could shift. Suddenly, a project that was strong for 6 years gets taken out by another project that's the complete opposite of what that initial project is, where suddenly people have decided that they want to go that way, right? So back in the day when I would invest, I'd invest very heavily across a handful of projects. If not, I'd go all in into one or two. And then I would realize that, wait a second, my project isn't going up as quick as the ones around me, and silly moon season would be going crazy and everything would be shooting up and down. And I would be like, oh, I'd get impatient, go here, go there. And then when I look back at the bull run, 2 years after it had finished, I would be like, well, why didn't I just diversify across these strategies? I would have just saved myself a headache. I would not have had sleepless nights. I would have seen an upside of, maybe 10x on some coins, 2x on some other coins, and 100x on some other coins. So it would have all just led to a very well diversified overall strategy that saw an average market upside across the whole portfolio. So this is my way of doing that. And if you look at some of the results here, right? Let's look at, say, even just any of these buckets, right? We can even look at the $2,000 bucket over here. If you do the sum of the profits, or the ones that are in green, it's $2,275, right? And then you do the sum of those in red, and it's $500. So obviously there's more green than red when you sum them. Even in the $1,000 bucket, $2,200 profit. Then you got $3,000 profit here, $400 profit here. So when alt season happens, there's going to be more green than red. You don't want to be in red, right? Just say for some random reason you thought your project was going to go in the whole bull cycle. You were like, you know what, this is it. But for some reason, you ended up choosing projects that did not go up. So obviously Cardano is pretty big, Solana is pretty big, Link is pretty big, Sui is pretty big, Prime is pretty big, but for some reason they're in the negative, right? From when I bought them, and I think I bought these like a week ago. So maybe for some reason some of these projects do not move. So I remember Link didn't actually go up that much last season. I don't want that. I want a well-diversified portfolio to see the upside on many, many different things. Another couple of things are, again, I have diversified across different buckets. I've banned myself going too heavy on certain altcoins because, again, that's a different strategy. This one is just to see an average upside. Later on, I'm going to add a ton of graphs and charts. So we will be able to chart, how did the GameFi portfolio do? How did the AI portfolio do? Did they outperform the whole sector, etc.? I might be wrong. I'm not you know, some of these coins might go to zero, and this is what this portfolio allows me to do. It allows it to go to zero and me not to really monitor things like a hawk, because I'm okay if some of these go to zero. In fact, it's actually, I actually think the biggest guarantee in this whole portfolio are some of these projects completely getting disrupted. But I've gone out of my way to figure out some of the projects that are some of the most established in their spaces and put capital across as many as I can. I've kept my treasury, so I've deployed about $58,000. That $58,000 has turned into 65K. I've kept the rest into Bitcoin and Ethereum for now, but as coins come my way, I will put money into those. And the reason why I do that is because some of my capital is deployed now at the start of the bull run, but I think during the bull run, there'll be new projects that come up that I will think, wait a second, there's a lot of strength to these projects. They're backed by big founders. They're sort of a sister company to a parent company that's really, really big. And I will find ways to put capital in there. So I've got a little bit of a reserve, in fact, probably about 30-40% of the portfolio to put into these projects as they come. The whole purpose is that in 12 to 18 months, this portfolio will hit $1 million. And look, again, some of these people watching this right now are like, Maddie, you could do that if you just go all in into Illuvium. Maddie, you can do that if you go all in into coin XYZ. And you're probably right. In fact, or you could be completely wrong. I can't risk that. So this is sort of like a minimal risk. Like if crypto as an overall sector sees massive upside, this is like the least risky way to see a sizable gain. So if you're sitting on say 100K and you're like, Maddie, I'll be happy if that just 4x's, and I'm happy to pay off my whole house this cycle. I'm not here to make $10 million. I'm here to just change my life and upgrade myself in my life circumstances. In that instance, this is really good. If in the in my opinion, if in the instance you're trying to make as much money as you can, well then I can't really compare with someone that puts all their money into something that gets really, really lucky and at 300x's and they hodl all the way through and sell at the top. This will not outperform that. So this is to see a market average upside of the crypto market going up. Now, some of the disclaimers, this is an experiment. So if you want to copy trade, you can go for it. But again, this is an experiment. You have to assume Maddie does not have any idea what he's doing. And this is to see if, some of these coins, I'm pretty sure some of these coins will 100x. And that might turn, $500 into 50K. Some of these coins might 1000x. Okay, maybe not. But some of these will 50x. Some of them might 100x. Some of these might just 5x, 10x, but overall, I think the portfolio as a whole, when everything averages out, might hit 10x. And if it turns 100K into $1 million, well, then that's the whole purpose of the experiment. Now, if you want to copy trade, this is probably not a good strategy if you're only sitting on say 20K and you have to buy 100 different coins. You're probably going to drive yourself crazy. You'll pay a ton in gas fees, and I don't know. I don't know if that's a good strategy. This is a strategy for excess capital. So again, an experiment for me. This is a very small portion of my wealth I'm putting out here as an experiment. Now, this strat again is to ensure a market average upside. And this is something that not many people talk about. A market average upside is to see if a sector goes up, how do you invest across that sector to see an upside that outperforms the top market caps that might not see a big enough gain. So obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum will probably see like a 2x, 3x, maybe a 4x. The rest of the market will probably moon even harder than those because their market caps are much smaller. Unless something tragic happens across regulation, across the whole altcoin market. If Bitcoin and Ethereum goes up, the rest will go up. Now, if the rest goes up, how do you ensure you don't invest across couple of projects that end up going to crap, right? And I did that a lot last cycle. In fact, I'd say 3 out of 5 projects I invested into just turned to crap. This is a bit of a separate thing. This is a bit of a flip side to that, where I'm investing in things that aren't too risky, that weren't born like a month ago. Many of these projects were born at least a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, have some validity to them, have already social media strength, have a founder that has lasted 3 to 4 years, which in the crypto space is plenty, still have a treasury on board so they can still continue building, won't probably throw in the white towel. So again, the diversification sort of mitigates single project failure risk. Anyway, if you want to follow along, you can do so. I shared it all on my Twitter. I'll be doing maybe bi-weekly updates on YouTube, maybe daily updates on YouTube Shorts. I haven't decided yet. But go for it. 3 weeks ago, I started off with nothing in these buckets, and people were like, "Oh, Maddie, I don't know about this project," but we are here 3 weeks later, and we are up 10K. I'm actually preparing for silly season, and I've mentioned this a couple of times. Where silly season, guys, is when tokens go up a ridiculous amount in a very short period of time. So this is Dogecoin. Dogecoin actually went up 250x from $300 million market cap to $70 billion market cap. And of course, there was a freak event where Elon was pushing it. But there's going to be some of those again this cycle, right? And Dogecoin went up, which birthed SHIB and a bunch of different other dog coins. And you have to assume that this is going to happen across some of the projects. So a lot of what I'm doing, I think, is just preparation. It's a little bit of this. I think we're over here. I still think we're about a year, maybe. Yeah, I think a year away, maybe, from this sort of cycle, maybe a year and a bit more. But all what I'm doing now is just in preparation for this. If some of these coins I've invested in see at 200x, the other ones see at 20x, 10x, etc. That's when it's going to be really interesting to monitor that portfolio. So again, you can follow me on YouTube, or you could follow me on Twitter, wherever you want. I will do an update as frequently as I can. And let's see how this portfolio does.